Hi, I'm a purple otaku, an otaku that is purple, mostly on my arm. I mean, my hair is purple, but I'm not getting into that right now. So, today is about my Barnes & Noble's experience. Books and manga and art books. Oh my! Because I'm original. So, first on the list is art books. Even though I said that, it doesn't matter. So, when I say art books, I'm not meaning like books full of someone's art. I'm meaning like tutorial books, like how to draw books. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, even though I'm calling them art books. Just to clarify. So, I go to Barnes & Noble's with these three things I've already mentioned in my mind, like, I want to get some of these. So I finally find the art books because Barnes & Noble's is kind of confusing sometimes because so much stuff. And then I'm looking and I'm seeing a lot of books on manga by like Mark Crilly and Christopher Hart, and I'm like, these people have YouTube channels. Like, I can watch their tutorials. Like, I get that it's good to buy the book and support the artist, but I didn't have that much money, and honestly, I didn't see the point in spending my money on something I could get for free by watching YouTube videos, or by teaching myself, or by talking to someone who I might know. Like, there's art teachers. I can talk to someone. Yeah, so I decided not to buy an art book, but there is one that my mom actually has because she's like, oh, my daughter of you draw anime and manga, I'll get an anime and manga book, because my mom doesn't draw without like a how-to book. So she got one and she actually did draw with me, which was cool. And it's called Pop Manga. I'll put it in the description if I can find it. I probably can. I might just be lazy. I might be lying. But it's a cool book and I really like the art style of the author. And I actually changed how I drew pupils for a little bit based off of her. So yeah. So I decided not to buy an art book. So next I went and I looked at regular books. And I didn't find any I wanted. But I'm going to talk to you about some of my favorite authors and books and what I would have bought if I had bought if I had found it. For example, I was looking for Shannon Hale books. Shannon Hale is an author. She actually wrote the Ever After books, apparently. I just found that out. I don't know if she wrote all of them, but I know she wrote at least one or two. And she also writes, like, The Book of 1,000 Days, Goose Girl, Princess Academy. There's three of those ones. Princess Academy, Palace of Stone. And then there's a third one. And they're all really good books. I haven't read the Ever After ones yet. But yeah, so I was looking for those books because all of her books are kind of like a twisted fairy tale thing. Which is why I was so excited when I found her Ever After books. Like, I was like, this is literally what she does. And they got her to do it. So I was really happy about that. So, on to books that I already have. And that would be, my favorite books. So my favorite book ever is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I have like 2 or 3 copies of this. This one I don't even think is mine, because my cousin also has a copy of it. I have read Ender's Game 7 times because I love it so much. I cried every time I read it, and it's a great book. And Orson Scott Card, I read another book by him, and I read a graphic novel adaptation of one of either his or his wife or his daughter's books. It's called Ladder Top. But the cover of the graphic novel actually didn't make it really clear whose book it was, because it said Emily Scott Card, but I'm pretty sure it also had Orson Scott Card's like name on it, so I was really confused. But another book that he writes is Ender's Shadow. Ooh. And it is a great book. It's a parallel to Ender's Game, so if you just want to try out Orson Scott Card, you can try either of these books, and it doesn't matter what order you read them in, because it's the same story told from different perspectives, which is really cool in my opinion. And the Ender's Game has a lot more books, like 3 or 4 of them, and I own them. That's what I'm looking at right now, but I haven't read them yet. I'm a fail. I'm sorry. But yeah, so Orson Scott Card and Shannon Hale are some of my favorite authors. And then another one of my favorite books is The Girl Who Could Fly by Victoria Foster. And this book is really good. And it gives you lots of feelings. Lots of feelings. And also, I love the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. Like, my favorite word of the series is the last word of the last book. And if you've read the series, you probably know what I'm talking about. Now, given I finished that in, like, 5th grade, but I still love those books. I'm probably going to go reread them. They're good books. I suggest them. Recommend them. I know how to speak English. So, now that I've talked about art books and regular books, I am going to talk about manga. Oh, such a shocker. I know. Anyways, so, I'm at Barnes & Noble's, and I'm looking for manga because I want to find My Hero Academia. I have the first 4 volumes. I wanted the 5th volume. Logic. So, I'm looking around, I find some manga. I'm like, oh, I found it. But I'm like, this is alphabetical, but it only has, like, S through Z, which wasn't very much. So I'm like, I was very confused. And then I see over the shelf that I'm looking at, like, more manga. I'm like, that's where it is. So I walk around to the next aisle, and oh my gosh, my heart about stopped. I was so happy. It was like a 20-foot long aisle, like almost as tall as me, so like probably like here, so I was so happy. There was so much manga that had like Attack on Titan and Tokyo Ghoul and like Fairy Tail, One Piece, Bleach, Fruits Basket, like D. Gray Man, SAO. I was so happy, like just being around all that manga. It's like the best thing that's happened to me in months. I was just so happy. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But yeah, so I looked through. I ended up buying a manga, but I will talk about that in my next video. So yeah, the point of this was, I enjoy books, and I enjoy Barnes & Noble's, and I suggest books that I stated previously, and I think that if you would like to buy an art book, you should do that. Or if you would like to just watch YouTube videos on how to draw, you should do that too. And I think that manga is great, and seeing an entire aisle of it is beautiful. By the way, in case you were wondering, this isn't sponsored because I have like 11 subscribers, so